Picture this. You're in the middle of a big game, adrenaline is high, and you take a hard hit to the head. You feel a little dizzy, maybe your head's pounding, but you tell yourself you're fine because you don't want to let your teammates down. A few plays later, you can't remember what just happened. That moment right there is exactly why concussion protocols in sports matter. Today, I want to talk to you about what concussions really are, why concussion protocols exist in sports, and what athletes and organizations do to help prevent them. What is a concussion and why is it such a big deal? A concussion is a type of traumatic brain injury that happens when your brain gets jolted around inside of your skull, usually from a hit to the head or a sudden stop or change in direction. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, concussions can affect how you think, feel, and even how you act. One of the biggest problems with concussions is that you can't always see them. There's no cast, no blood, and sometimes no immediate symptoms. Some athletes don't even feel anything until hours or even days later. Common symptoms include headaches, dizziness, nausea, confusion, sensitivity to light, and trouble concentrating. What makes concussions even more serious is when they happen more than once. Repeated concussions can lead to long-term issues like memory loss, anxiety, depression, and in extreme cases, a condition called CTE. CTE has been found in former athletes, especially football players, and is linked to repeated head trauma over time. For years, concussions weren't taken seriously in sports. Athletes were told to shake it off and get back in the game. But we now know that playing through a concussion can make things way worse and cause damage that lasts long after an athlete's playing days are over. Because of the risks, concussion protocols were created to protect athletes. A concussion protocol is basically a set of rules that sports organizations follow to identify concussions and make sure players don't return too soon. In professional sports like the NFL, if a player shows signs of a concussion, they're immediately taken out of the game. They're evaluated by medical staff who look at things like balance, memory, and awareness. According to the NFL Head, Neck, and Spine Committee, a player cannot return to play until they are completely symptom-free and cleared by medical professionals. College sports follow similar rules. The NCAA requires that any athlete diagnosed with a concussion cannot return to play on the same day. They must go through step-by-step return to play process. This usually starts with light exercise, then moves to non-contact drills, then full practice, and finally competition. If symptoms can come back at any point, the athlete has to stop and rest. These protocols are especially important because of something called second-hand impact syndrome. This happens when an athlete gets a second concussion before the first one is healed. Even though it's rare, it can be extremely dangerous and sometimes fatal. Concussion protocols are designed to prevent that exact situation from happening. How athletes and organizations try to prevent concussions, even with protocols in place, the best option is to prevent concussions in the first place. One way sports organizations try to do this is through better equipment. Helmets in sports like football and hockey are constantly being improved, with better padding and technology to help absorb impact. While helmets can't fully prevent concussions, they do lower the risk of severe head injuries. Another major prevention method is rule changes. For example, the NFL has made helmet-to-helmet hits illegal and increased penalties for dangerous tackles. According to ESPN, these changes have helped reduce the number of reported concussions in recent seasons. College and high school leagues have also adjusted rules to make the game safer. Education is another huge part of prevention. Athletes, coaches, and even parents are now trained to recognize concussion symptoms. Many schools require athletes to complete concussion awareness training before they're allowed to play. This helps people understand that concussions aren't something you can just ignore. Finally, one of the most important prevention tools is the athletes themselves. Players are being encouraged to speak up if they don't feel right. Even though it's tough to sit out, especially in a big game, reporting symptoms early can prevent serious long-term damage. Concussions are serious injuries that affect the brain and shouldn't be taken lightly. Concussion protocols exist to protect athletes by making sure injuries are recognized, treated, and fully healed before players return to the game. Through better equipment, stricter rules, and honest communication, sports are becoming safer than they used to be. At the end of the day, no win, no game, and no championship is worth risking your brain. Taking concussions seriously now helps protect athletes, not just during their careers, but for the rest of their lives.